PTFS versus real life. What's better? Today I'll be comparing PTFS to real life with everything from engine startup to stalling. I'll quit my yapping and let's get into this video. First up, engine start. In PTFS it's as easy as hitting E on your keyboard, and boom, engine's on. Compare that to real life, where starting an engine involves multiple steps, checking fuel, avionics, and of course, calling clear prop before turning the key to start. Now sometimes, like you can see here, the engine doesn't quite start the first time. That's where you need to change the choke a bit. Back in PTFS for taxiing now. Taxiing in PTFS is quite easy, especially when you're in third person, but if you're in first person like right now, most planes, you can't really see where you're taxiing, and there's no rudder control, so you're kind of stuck using the mouse. Now let's head out to the runway. We'll hold short real quick, check for any other aircraft in the area. We are now on the runway, ready to take off. But before we do that, let's start taxiing in real life. But before we even get moving, it's a lot more different, because there's a bunch of checks you have to go through before you can start the plane, and before you can get moving. We've already done that, so let's disengage the parking brake, put a little bit of throttle on, let's get moving. Now it is much easier to see the taxiway lines from where I'm seated and from where you guys are mounted in the cockpit. Today, we are headed out to runway 24 to do some circuits. There's a bit of general aviation traffic around, so we do need to be careful what we're doing. Here we are coming up on our first plane, which is the exact same plane that I am in, just red. We did have to hold there, because we had to wait until they were clear of all runways before we could start taxiing out to runway 24. To get to runway 24, from the way we are going, we're going out onto the grass runway of runway 32, heading up to runway 24 before backtracking a bit to take off. We're now entering runway 24 to backtrack. We're on runway 24, ready to take off, but before we do that, let's do it in PTFS. Flap set to 2, throttle to the max, and let's get going. As we make our way down the runway, the wind seems to affect us for some reason, even though we're not airborne. We should be able just to stay centerline using rudders, which we can't. We're in the air now, so the wind should be now affecting us, which it is. Let's climb up to 200 feet, take the flap slot, climb to 500, and do a climbing turn out to the right. Climbed up to 1,000 feet, leveling off, and that's takeoff done. On to real life. We've got one stage of flap, need to carefully throttle all the way up, and we're moving. Now I need to be careful, I'm constantly pushing down with the stick till I get to the right airspeed to lift off, because this plane just wants to lift. As you can see, we are now in the air. We'll climb up to 200 feet just like before, take one stage of flap up, and we'll climb to 500 before doing a climbing turn to the right. Well, since we've got a bit of time while we climb, I've got something really special to share with you. I'm making a game, more specifically, a flight simulator on Roblox. But before you go saying, this is going to be another high quality game like Project Flight, no hate to Project Flight obviously, that will never come out of development or get released. This game is made to be low quality, or should I say, low poly, because this game is meant to give a simple and basic feel of a low poly game. At the moment, the game is called Poly Flight, but I'm taking name suggestions. I'm currently making this with LL Flinch, who should go check out, link in the description. But that's not enough. I'm currently looking for 1 or 2 more developers, so if you'd like to apply, join the Discord and Roblox group, link in the description. If you'd like to support the development, feel free to donate to the game, also link in the description. But that's enough yapping, because we are leveling out to do the next comparison. Back in PTFS to do some stalling this time. In PTFS to stall, all you have to do is lower your throttle, so you go slightly slower, and you'll just fall. You won't fall that much, you just slightly fall. You'll pick up a little bit more speed once you fall, and you'll just level back out with speed. If you turn your throttle all the way off, you'll fall and you pick up more speed, just like before, but you should be able to land it with the amount of speed you pick up. In real life, it is a bit hard to see here, but we just pull the throttle all the way back, we pull up, and then the plane falls off to the side, put full throttle back on, and you can recover from it quite easily. Now, we're not going to do loss of engine, stalling, having to glide down, so I don't want to do that. Landing in PTFS is quite simple. You put on your desired amount of flaps. Here I've put on 3 stages of flaps, which is the most this plane can do. You then kind of just glide in on approach at the throttle that is right, which you can look at by checking land speed. If it says land speed, you're right. If it says stalling, you're a little slow. It is a little harder in first person, especially since you can't see the runway, like here. And you don't know when you're quite going to touch down. So it is kind of a surprise once you do land. Here we are coming down, just passing the taxiway. There's the end of the runway. It's probably a little tad late. Actually, no, we're perfect. That was hard and off center, but that's how it is in PTFS first person. Now, time to see how good I am at landing in real life. Now, the landing in real life, really nice at sunset. Perfect timing, because if you can slightly see off in that right corner, the little Qantas plane. We're about to follow that in for landing. And my instructor said this was one of my best landings, if not my best landing I've ever done. So you're going to want to stick around and watch it. Now we're doing an extra long approach here just because we have to follow Qantas in. Should be able to see Qantas just ahead of us. I'll zoom it in and circle it so you can see it landing. It is very hard to see the little white dot in the circle. We're closer on approach now and you can see Qantas turning off the runway onto the taxiway, meaning we're able to land now. Just above the runway, look how beautiful it is. We've got 2 stages of flap on. We're just about to shut throttle all the way. And now we're basically just gliding down. As we get close to touchdown, we lift up the plane all the way back. And it basically just stalls. It touches the runway. You've got to keep it back for a bit. Once it slows down a bit, you can drop it. And then you can come back on the centre line. Don't worry about braking. Once you get slow enough, put your flaps up. And perfect, you've landed. Now on to looks. PTFS, obviously it's very basic compared to real life, which is really nice. Hope you all did enjoy that video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. And please do check out Polyflight. And don't forget to join my Discord, top link in the description. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.